Good morning and happy Monday, boys and girls. I hope you had a great spring break, but it's time to get back into schoolwork, and I'm going to be doing writing with you this week. So we wrapped up our unit on being opinionators and giving our opinion. And so we're going to start a new unit, and it's called narrative writing. So I'm so proud of all your hard work, but we're going to keep moving along, and we're going to write some narrative stories. So, are you ready? When I say narrators, you say yes, and that means it's time for Writer's Workshop, and we're going to start our writing. All right? So, I'm sure you're a little bit curious about exactly what a narrative story is. So, we're going to talk about that. A narrative story is something that happened to you and how you feel about it. So, can you tell me something you did over spring break? How'd that make you feel? You just told me a narrative story. So a narrative story has a certain job that has to be done. And there are 4 major things that we need to remember when it comes to narrative writing. So a narrative is always written by the character. That means it's always written. If you're writing your narrative story, it's always about you. So I couldn't write your story that you told me earlier because I'm not the character in it, right? You are. So that's the first thing. It's always written by the character. That means I couldn't write your story from earlier because it wasn't my story. Next, a narrative story is always written about a real life event. So it's not something that comes from our imagination. It's something that comes from our memory. It's something that actually happened to us or something we actually did. Third, a narrative contains your feelings on what happened. So how did it make you feel? Did it make you happy? Did it make you sad? Did it make you excited? How did it make you feel? And the last thing we need to remember about a narrative story is that it's written or told in sequential order. That means it's told with a beginning, middle, and an end. It's told in the order that it happened. We can't skip around in the events. It's told exactly how it happened. So we have a poster to help us remember. So narratives are always written by the character, I. So when you're writing your story, you're going to refer to yourself as I. I'm not going to write a story that says, Miss Morton went to the zoo. Miss Morton had fun. I would say, I went to the zoo. I had fun. Number 2, it's written about a real life event. Number 3, it's written with feelings. And number 4, it's written in sequential order. That means the order that it happened. Sequential is kind of a big word. So I'm going to flip this camera around, and I'm going to model my story for you. Now remember, can you use my story? No, because it's mine, right? It didn't happen to you. You have to write about something that happened to you. So I'm going to flip you around real fast. All right, so I flipped you around. We always have to write our name, correct? I'm going to write my name. It's always important to put our name on our work. Now, this is a little bit different writing paper for some of you. It's a little bit smaller, so our handwriting has to be super neat, okay? So I'm going to write a story about something that I did yesterday. So when I'm recording this video, I did this yesterday. I went to the zoo. So I'm going to write, I remember because the story's about me. I went to the zoo. Okay, now remember, I have to put how I feel about it too, don't I? So, I had fun. I'm going to put an exclamation mark because it was exciting. So, how many sentences did I write? There's 1 period, so that's the end of 1 sentence, and 1 exclamation mark, so that's the end of 2 sentences. So I wrote 2 sentences. I also want you to write 2 sentences. I want you to tell me what you did and how it made you feel. And don't forget to draw your pictures. I'm going to draw. I went to the zoo with my friend, her husband. He's got a beard. There's me. And they had their baby. So I'm going to draw her right here. Her dad was holding her a lot. So we went to the zoo. So we took a picture at the zoo. So, and you can tell I had fun because we're all smiling, right? All right, I want you to try and write your very first narrative. And don't forget, you can always send a picture of your work to your teacher. We love to see it.